Zahlen gewinnt.
Du hast ihre Perlen. Die haben die abgeschnappt.
Ja.
Wir müssen hier raus.
Ja, das war hier die Umgebung.
Got this whole man sitting in the
Maybe, yes. Yeah, let's spinach and then maybe only Jason did spinach, but that was the first one.
Mit meinen Kameras hier.
Drei Kameras? Hey, another one.
Two cameras? No, just film it.
Oh ja?
Everybody's going to see when I'm going to get the moment of our train because they want to do the ceremony outside. The whole day is only a couple of minutes.
She told me that because of her here.
So, Walter sagt, er hält mich fest, ich komme nicht.
Sag mal, Soundspray.
Immer Petrus an, nochmal.
Na guck, wir sollen das doch anbieten.
Ja, Mami. Was willst du denn, Blumen schon?
Isabel, komm mal her.
Das lohnt, ja.
Was chosen to perform the wedding ceremony in the power of my being a notary public. I have known Heidi since she came from Houston, and I met George the same day Heidi met him. That was when I invited Heidi for a rather boring party in the Turnberry Isle Club, which was a German dinner business party. And George was there also, and he seemed also bored, walking around talking to people. And when it came to have dinner, I invited George to our table because he looked very lonely. And that's when everything happened. George gave Heidi his telephone number, and Heidi gave George the telephone number, but it seemed it took about 10 days until George had the courage to call Heidi and ask for a date. George must have had a rather turbulent life at the time. He lived in the fast lane, adoring his sporty 300 ZX and sometimes overestimating his driving capabilities. Also, their relationship was rather turbulent, but Heidi tamed him little by little, and George didn't seem to mind the taming of the beast. They discovered that they both enjoyed diving. Heidi was already an experienced diver for 25 years, but George did not want to risk her safety, so he did not let her go down until she could prove with a certification, the good old German way, that she can do it. And only then would she dive with him to the bottom of the ocean. But they still were not in tune with each other. One day they went diving during unfavorable weather when George's air tank showed empty. He wanted to go up immediately, but Heidi, being the experienced diver, insisted on swimming towards the anchor in order to get to the boat. Heidi did get to the boat. George went up immediately and got lost in the waves. Heidi frantically tries to get the anchor up. She cannot get it, so she cuts the rope, knowing that George would be angry. She radios for help, another thing she never did in her life. She gets finally help, but it took another hour until they found George in the waves. Heidi is so relieved to have him back safely. It made her realize how much she really cared for him. And George, he insisted on going down to the bottom of the ocean to find the anchor. This mishap and other similar situations might have been upsetting at the time, but it took both of them through learning experiences in their relationship that brought them closer and closer together. About 8 months after they met in this on and off relationship, George surprised Heidi with an invitation to a sailing trip to the Virgin Islands, which turned out to be wonderful for both of them. And another building block was added to the foundation for a life together. Their relationship slowly but steadily gained strength, and when Heidi's children moved on to college, George and Heidi decided to move together to Pompano. Now the more serious adjustment period started. They were as equal partners. 1992, however, Hurricane Andrew came to town, devastating everything that was in its path. They did not call it Andrew. They called each other every name in the book, and Heidi moved out. But like Andrew, this episode also blew over, and from the initial shock and disbelief, the acceptance, and finally the rebuilding started. And since they swam through so many rough waves, and since they were able to rescue each other from the turbulent ocean, that is why we are here today, to witness their love and commitment to each other. That is why now I will ask the couple whether they really want to go through the storm of life together. George Pilat, do you take this woman to be your lawful wedded wife, to live together in the holy estate of matrimony, to love, honor, comfort her, and keep her in sickness and in health, forsaking all others, keep you only unto her so long as you both shall live? Heidi Zeisig, do you have this man to be your lawful wedded husband, to live together in the holy estate of matrimony, to love, honor, comfort him, to keep him in sickness and in health, forsaking all others, keep you only unto him as long as both shall live? Walter, please place the ring on Heidi's finger. Isabel, please place the ring on George's finger. And repeat both after me. With this ring, I thee wed in love and truth, and with all my worldly goods I thee endow. Please join your right hands. Inasmuch as George Pilat and Heidi Zeisig have this day consented together in holy wedlock, and have given and pledged their troth each to the other in the presence of this company, by virtue of authority vested in me under the laws of the state of Florida, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Take over.
She deserves it now.
George, let's see the ring.
See your ring, Mommy. Mach mal
My ring, my ring.
You have to throw it too.
I throw it, my beautiful.
Oh, yes. Now I need
It
one.
matches.